Hi everyone. Today we are talking about UBS, United Bank of Switzerland, and some scandals the company has experienced. My partners will analyze 4 different issues, and the corresponding questions will be answered one by one in our presentation. First of all, let me introduce some background information about the company. UBS was formed in 1997 when Swiss Bank Corp merged with Union Bank of Switzerland. After acquiring Penn Weber, a U.S. wealth management firm in 2000, UBS soon became one of the top financial services companies in the world and the biggest bank in Switzerland. Between 2008 and 2015, however, its reputation was severely tarnished by a series of ethics scandals. These scandals cost the bank billions of dollars in fines and lost profits, not to mention a diminished reputation. And next, my partners will introduce these issues.
Let me introduce the first ethics scandals. Since 2000, UBS has actively participated in helping its U.S. clients evade taxes. UBS has successfully helped its U.S. clients conceal billions of dollars from the Irish. Birkenfield was born in the U.S. and worked for UBS for many years. In 2005, he found that UBS commercial activities were illegal. He reported to the compliance department but didn't get any response. 2 years later, in 2007, he reported to the U.S. Department of Justice that UBS helped its American clients evade taxes. UBS tax evasion methods including operating secret bank accounts, destroying records, applying for Swiss credit cards. UBS employees travel to the U.S. every quarter to manage their clients' accounts. UBS also has had frequent contacts with wealthy American clients who want to hide their assets. The computers they carry with them that contain customer information are also encrypted. In 2009, UBS paid $780 million in fines to settle charges. UBS eventually agreed to disclose some 5,000 account details, including individual names. Operating profit from the bank wealth management division declined by 60%. In 2008, it declined by another 70% in 2009. Let's talk about the discussion question. Who is to blame? Is it sufficient just to fine the bank? Firstly, the compliance department of UBS should be held accountable for unethical behavior. The compliance department chose to ignore and take no action after receiving the report. The compliance department focuses on financial benefits rather than the long-term reputation of the firm. It's insufficient just to fine the bank. In my opinion, the implementation of Swiss bank privacy law is the main reason why rich people from all over the world are transferring a huge amount of money to Switzerland to avoid tax. However, the bank secrecy only benefits the rich. I think this law should be abandoned. UBS also has an obligation to regularly disclose U.S. individual or corporate account details to the U.S. government. Next, Ian will introduce the next part.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the second scandal of UBS, rogue trader scandal. The protagonist of the scandal is Craig Adobe, a relatively low-level trader at UBS. In 2006, he joined UBS as a trade analyst as a graduate training. In 2008, he became the director of the ETF, during which time he began using bank funds for unauthorized transactions. He entered false information into UBS training system to hide his high-risk transaction. In 2011, UBS began an internal investigation. The scandal cost UBS nearly $2 billion losses. And you can see this man is the Oswald Grubel, the former CEO of UBS, announced his resignation on the ninth day after event. event was released. During the investigation, all three colleagues admitted to knowing his unauthorized transaction, and the two direct bosses showed a relaxed attitude towards their violation of daily training limitation. The main reason for this scandal are as follows. First, the speculative mentality exists not only in trader but also in the entire financial industry. UBS claimed that it has not authorized Adobe's transaction, but as a world-class wealth management bank, UBS internal control management system is unlikely to have such low-level mistake. The fact is the UBS internal control system has concurrently relaxed its vigilance against some trader who has done well in the past, which led to huge losses. Second, the European debt and the US debt crisis in 2011 led to the violent fluctuation in the financial market. So I think Adobe is most directly responsible for this scandal, and the UBS management was responsible for the scandal, which was closely related to corporate governance and management practice. Uninformed colleagues should also be held accountable, and the direct supervisors and even less likely to supervise their staff. Then Dave will introduce the third scandal.
Hello, I'm Dave. Now it's my turn to talk about the third scandal, Libor manipulation. This case tells that in December 2012, UBS was fined 1.5 billion by regulators. The reason is because UBS manipulated Libor's offer between 2005 and 2010. Libor stands for London Interbank Offer Rate. It serves as a global accept key benchmark of interest rate. 35 years old former UBS and Citibank trader Tom Hayes was sentenced to 4 or 14 years in prison for manipulating Libor. However, in prison, Hayes argued that he was only a scapegoat for executive mistakes, and his actions were consistent with the behavior of senior officials. Let's move to the discussion question. Who should be held accountable for this situation? In fact, Hayes' actions are not as simple as the story. He used to be at the Royal Bank of Scotland, UBS, and Citibank. His rich work experience has also made him a lot of contacts in the field of the interest rate trading. He has used his own way to lure other traders to achieve his goals. Therefore, Hayes is indeed the culprit of the international conspiracy of the Libor. However, looking back on Hayes' career, when Citigroup attempted to dig Hayes from UBS in 2009 with $5 million prize, some UBS staff members pursued the company to keep Hayes because he could use the relationship to manipulate Libor. Therefore, the UBS executives are likely to be insiders of the incident. They condemn Hayes' action also need to be condemned. So this huge fine is also understandable. Next, let's move to the third discussion question. 11 years jail sentence for Tom Hayes was too harsh. In our opinion, 11 years of imprisonment is too long. It should be judged by the sentence standards of economic crimes, not because it's a first case of manipulating Libor. Although this can have a deterrent effect on the entire industry, this deterrent effect cannot be at the expense of the human rights of others, compared to the fact that in the United Kingdom, murderers were sentenced on average for 17 years. Tom Hayes' economic crimes was sentenced to 11 years. Obviously, the nature of murder is even worse. Does it mean that the sentence of murder should be aggravated? If there is any evidence proof that Tom's action has been superficial, the specific executives should be held accountable instead of Tom's bear all the consequences.
Next, Kevin will introduce the fourth scandal.
In this part, it's mainly focused on UBS repeat its illegal actions again. In 2015, the wake of the liver rigging scandal, the U.S. Department of Justice voiced $1.5 billion settlement from 2012 with UBS, adding another $200 million in fines. But perhaps what's more damaging, UBS pleaded guilty to allegation that its UBS traders multiplied liver. In 2011, UBS joined the settlement related to antitrust violations in the multi-principal bond investments market. And in 2012, UBS had avoided prosecution by agreeing to cooperate with authorities and promising not to engage in rigging and other illegal activities in future. However, although UBS has made a series of settlements and guarantees before, they are still breached again. UBS gained its own benefit by multiplying the foreign exchange rate and hurting the profit of their customers. This time, the Justice Department of U.S. views UBS as repeat offender. As repeat these ethical failures, who should blame? CEO, executives, or supervising managers? Here in this case, we can analyze from the internal and external causes. Internally, scandal occurs because managers and the CEO have obvious missions in the company's internal management. Externally, inadequate for the industries and the national financial regulators have also led to the recurrence of these ethical failures. Finally, as an organization, the internal parts should be united. Like this model, different parts should supervise each other and engage together to form a complete organization's leadership network. Well, conclusion we are given in the next part.
In terms of what can UBS do to avoid ethics failures in the future and to repair its damaged reputation, I think they can use 4 approaches. UBS can take multiple steps to avoid the recurrence of ethics scandals and reshape reputation. First, UBS should apologize for illegal or unethical behavior and positively shoulder responsibilities and punishment. They should also raise their reputational risk management to a strategic level and establish a reliable reputation management organization. In the past, UBS employees used the online test for ethics training. Now, they should better seek ethics training from independent certification institutions. What's more, rogue traders are born from loose internal control systems. UBS should optimize their internal regulatory systems to avoid some hyper-authorized transactions. Thank you.